The frozen expanse claimed them one by one, leaving only fragmented whispers. This is the chilling tale of the Italia airship commanded by Umberto Nobile, a story of ambition, disaster, and a desperate struggle for survival against the unforgiving Arctic. We will uncover the true sequence of events that led to its demise and the controversies that followed. In 1928, Umberto Nobile, an Italian aeronautical engineer and polar explorer, embarked on his second Arctic expedition. His airship, the Italia, was a marvel of engineering designed to push the boundaries of polar exploration, carrying a crew of 16 men. The expedition aimed to conduct scientific research and make the first landing on the North Pole from an airship. Nobile had previously achieved fame by flying the Norge over the North Pole in 1926, alongside Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen. The Italia departed from Milan, Italy, on April 15, 1928, carrying its crew and scientific equipment. The journey was fraught with challenges from the outset, including severe weather conditions and mechanical issues, testing the crew's resolve. After several weeks, the airship reached its base camp in New York-Ålesund, Spitsbergen. From there, Nobile planned multiple scientific flights over the Arctic, each one pushing deeper into the unknown, facing extreme cold and unpredictable winds. The first two flights were successful, gathering valuable meteorological and geographical data. However, the third and fateful flight, intended for the North Pole, began on May 23 and would soon encounter catastrophic conditions. As the Italia approached the North Pole, heavy fog and strong winds made a landing impossible. Nobile decided to turn back, a decision that likely saved some lives but could not avert the impending disaster that awaited them. On May 25, 1928, while returning from the North Pole, the Italia encountered severe turbulence. Without warning, the airship began to rapidly lose altitude, plunging towards the treacherous ice below at an alarming speed. The stern of the airship struck the ice first, ripping open the gondola and scattering crew members and equipment. 10 men, including Nobile, were thrown onto the ice pack, while 6 others remained trapped in the wreckage of the envelope. The remaining section of the Italia, still partially buoyant, drifted away with the 6 trapped crew members, disappearing into the Arctic mist. What happened to those 6 men remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the disaster. The 10 survivors on the ice, including a badly injured Nobile with a broken leg, faced immediate peril. They were stranded in the middle of a shifting ice pack, hundreds of miles from any civilization, with dwindling supplies and no reliable communication. They managed to salvage some essential items, a tent, a radio transceiver, and a small amount of food. This makeshift camp, which they dubbed the Red Tent, became their only sanctuary against the brutal Arctic elements. For days, they tried to send out distress signals, but their radio was damaged. It wasn't until a young Soviet radio amateur, Nikolai Schmidt, accidentally picked up their faint signals nearly a week later that the world learned of their plight. The international community launched an unprecedented rescue effort involving multiple nations. Ships, planes, and even dog sled teams converged on the Arctic, each racing against time to find the stranded survivors. One of the most notable figures in the rescue was Nobile's former collaborator, Roald Amundsen, who, despite their previous falling out, immediately joined the search. This act of heroism would have tragic consequences. The conditions were incredibly harsh. Blizzards, shifting ice, and extreme cold made aerial searches perilous and surface travel almost impossible. The rescuers faced the same unforgiving environment that had claimed the Italia. Tragically, Amundsen's plane disappeared during the search on June 18, 1928. He and his crew were never found, adding another layer of mystery and sorrow to the already unfolding disaster, a true testament to the Arctic's power. Back at the Red Tent, conditions deteriorated rapidly. Food supplies dwindled, and the morale of the survivors was tested. Nobile, suffering from his injuries, was unable to contribute physically, leading to tensions within the group. One of the crew members, Finn Malmgren, a Swedish meteorologist, along with 2 Italian officers, decided to attempt to walk for help. They set off on June 15, a desperate gamble against impossible odds. Malmgren, already weakened, succumbed to exposure and exhaustion a few days later, allegedly asking his companions to continue without him. The 2 Italians continued, but their fate remained unknown for weeks, adding to the agony. On June 20, a Swedish pilot, Lieutenant Einar Lundborg, finally spotted the Red Tent. He managed to land his plane on a nearby ice floe and, controversially, evacuated Nobile first, leaving the others behind with a promise of return. This decision sparked a huge controversy. Critics accused Nobile of abandoning his crew, while Nobile maintained he was following Lundborg's orders, who believed the injured commander was the most critical to save. The debate still rages. Lundborg's plane crashed during a subsequent attempt to rescue more survivors, further delaying the rescue. The remaining men at the Red Tent endured further days of agonizing waiting, their hope waning with each passing hour. Finally, on July 12, the Soviet icebreaker Krasen reached the Red Tent, rescuing the remaining 5 survivors. Simultaneously, the Krasen also located the 2 Italian officers who had walked away, miraculously still alive. The rescue of the Italia survivors was hailed as a triumph of international cooperation and human endurance. However, the fate of the 6 men trapped in the airship's envelope and Amundsen's crew remained unsolved. Nobile faced a court of inquiry upon his return to Italy, where he was heavily criticized and ultimately cleared, but his reputation was permanently tarnished. The political climate of fascist Italy played a significant role in this outcome. The disappearance of the 6 crew members in the airship's envelope has fueled decades of speculation. Did they survive for a time? Were they able to make it to land? Or did the Arctic claim them swiftly and completely? One theory suggests the envelope drifted north, possibly towards Franz Josef Land, before eventually crashing or sinking into the sea. Search parties found no trace, leaving their fate to grim imagination. Another theory posits that the envelope might have ruptured completely, sending the crew plummeting into the icy waters below. The impact alone would have been catastrophic, leading to an immediate, silent end. Perhaps the most chilling thought is that they survived the initial crash but succumbed to the cold and hunger in the drifting wreckage. Trapped with no hope of rescue, their final days would have been truly horrific. The disappearance of Amundsen's plane adds another layer of unsolved mystery. Despite extensive searches, no definitive wreckage or remains were ever found, leaving his final moments shrouded in the Arctic's veil. My own theory on the 6 missing crew members leans towards a rapid demise. Given the extreme cold and the immediate damage to the airship, it is highly probable that those trapped in the envelope either died upon impact with the ice or succumbed to hypothermia very quickly as the structure broke apart and they were exposed to the elements. The chances of survival for any extended period in such a compromised structure, drifting aimlessly in the Arctic, would have been almost zero. The sustained buoyancy, if any, would have been short-lived, with the envelope eventually collapsing or sinking. Regarding Amundsen, his plane was a Latham 47 flying boat not well suited for Arctic conditions. It is plausible that severe weather, combined with mechanical failure, led to a crash in the vast, unnavigable waters or ice fields. The sheer scale of the Arctic makes finding even large wreckage incredibly difficult. The Italia disaster highlights the perils of early polar exploration and the raw power of the Arctic. It reminds us of the fine line between ambition and tragedy, and the courage required to push humanity's boundaries. The controversy surrounding Nobile's rescue also serves as a stark reminder of the human element in survival situations. Decisions made under extreme duress, and the subsequent political interpretations, can forever alter legacies. The Italia's story is not just one of a lost airship, but of lost lives, shattered reputations, and unanswered questions that continue to echo through the frozen silence of the Arctic, a testament to its enduring mysteries. The Red Tent, a symbol of desperate hope and human resilience, remains etched in history. It represents the ultimate struggle against nature, and the unwavering will to survive against impossible odds. What are your thoughts on the Nobile controversy? Do you believe he was unfairly blamed, or was his initial evacuation truly a betrayal? Share your theories in the comments below. Backhand index pointing down. If you're fascinated by unsolved mysteries and true crime, make sure to subscribe to Mind Unlocked for more deep dives into the unknown. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next chilling investigation.